Welcome everyone to Enshrouded. Before we do a castle tour, let me give you an idea how these build mechanics work. When you grab your construction hammer, you'll notice you have three different sizes to choose from. You have your 1 meter, your 2 meter, and your 4 meter. We also have 2 meter roofs, 4 meter roofs, and what I think is really neat is you can also build with terrain, such as rock and soil. You'll also notice you get to choose your building material. The material you have available is the material that's in your inventory. These are recipes you learn, recipes you craft, and material you gather. If you look in your bottom right hand corner, you'll also notice a snapping feature that you can turn on or off. With snapping on, you'll snap to your building shapes. With it off, you get more free play. Breaking from the norm of current survival crafting games, there is no structural integrity in the game. This is more like Minecraft. You can even build in the air. As you can see with snapping on, we're snapping two of the buildings, and we're kind of on a 2 meter grid. But if we turn our snapping off, we get more free play on where we want to place our shapes. I really like this feature because I can lay out my buildings in a perfect snapping grid. But at the same time, I have the freedom to customize it the way I want. You can build shapes inside of shapes, so you can really fill in the gaps. Another nice feature in this game is that if you build close enough, your gaps will heal on their own. This is really noticeable when you're building with roofs. Another thing this game has is that you can actually craft scaffolding structures, and you can use them and stack them on top of each other and pick them up when you're done. But I found I really didn't need them for two main reasons. One, I can build in the air, and two, when I destroy what I'm building, I get 100% back of the resources I spent. When I first started crafting in this game, I was building the scaffolding system just to get to the roofs and to build up high walls, but when I discovered that I can just build in the air and get 100% back of my resources, this was just faster and easier. Now let's take a look at our shapes. We have our foundation, our wall, our window wall, our door. They call the next one a door frame. It's more of a horizontal column. We have a vertical column, we have a platform, we have stairs, and then we have our triangle shapes. I use those more for either stair caps or building a unique wall with a roof that is pitched to that. When we switch to our roofing shapes, you'll also notice your material also switches to roofing material. I only have one in my inventory, but there are other materials such as thatching and slate. As you can see, you only get one pitch choice, a 12 to 12 45 degree angle pitch. Your basic roof shapes are your side shape, your corner, your inverted corner, your flat, your crown, and your gables. One thing I need to mention as well is that I'm playing this game in March of 24, and it's still an early access game, so I'm hoping they add more shapes. I would like to see some round shapes and some more triangular shapes as well. The terrain blocks are pretty self-explanatory. You know, you're either going to use soil or you're going to use stone. What I mostly used the terrain blocks for was to fill in holes. And I also use it to extend my property line out past the cliff. When you start your first base, you only get a small footprint. If I remember correctly, it was a 40 by 40 grid. However, as you do progress, your build area does get bigger. So instead of starting a new base or moving my base, I just opted to make my build area bigger. And now for the base tour. I will say the one thing I really like about this game is it has a grappling hook system, making it easy to get the high spots. Pay attention to the foggy areas. That is called the shroud. And you cannot build in the shroud. So if you want a really big base, do not build near the shroud. You know, for an early access game, there is a lot to do. I think we put about 50 hours in this before I went into full building mode. There are parts of the map I can't get to. I just assume that it's going to be for, you know, future content. And I'm very excited to see what else they add to this game. As you progress in the building, not only do you get more building materials, but you also get to build more items that you can decorate your castle with. The nicer the items, the more rested time you will get. Rested time is really nice because the more you have of it, the faster your stamina regens. I like the small details in this game. If you can hear that, I went from a stone floor to a metal floor. Another neat feature in this game is the way that sleep works. When you go to bed, instead of it instantly being daylight, your time speeds up like 60x. When I play with my wife, it goes to 30x each. So for both in bed, it's 60x. If it's just one of us, it's 30x. This means if one of you are out exploring, another person can jump in bed and speed up to its daylight. You know, one thing that Conan Exiles has that I haven't seen in any other crafting games is that your doors close after you automatically after a short period of time. And it's a feature you can turn on or off. I only bring this up because in this game, for some reason, I have a hard time targeting doors to close them. As you can see, there is fall damage in the game. One thing I forgot to mention is about food. You don't need food to survive. Food is for bonuses. Right now I'm not eating anything, but I can actually eat food to increase my health and my stamina, as well as get other bonuses. One thing I'll quickly touch on as well is that this game has a skill tree. You can actually choose different classes your character can go down and customize your character. I think there's like 12 classes broken into 3 categories, you know, strength, magic, and dexterity. So you can really make a good hybrid character. Well, that's pretty much it. I hope you got some usefulness out of this on how to build things and maybe inspire you to make something even more grand than what I have made. There are some very talented builders out there and I can't wait to see some of y'all's work. And if you have some tips and tricks for me to maybe improve what I have built, I would love to hear them because I just like, the crafting is my favorite part in survival craft. And the nicer I can make things, the more fun I have. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial / tour, and I'll see you in the next one.